dude? Dude, what button, dude?
That one.
So we're talking about Guerlain here. No, we are not devoting the entire channel to Guerlain from here on out. But no, I mean we've got 3 bottles in the collection from Guerlain. Really respectable house, really.
Yeah, I mean I know about every time we get a big haul of samples, usually there's a Guerlain that comes in and never disappoints.
No.
I mean, and I know a couple of them have been blind swapsies with people too, and again, hasn't disappointed yet. So I would say all in all it's been pretty good.
Yeah, Guerlain is probably a favorite house of mine so far. You know, that's why we're devoting the entire channel to it. But no, I mean, this one in particular, I've been looking for a very specific type of patchouli for a while. I had Davidoff's Zeno for a while, which was great, but it didn't last as long as I'd like, and it wasn't nearly as complex as I was kind of looking for with the dry down and everything. And that's where this guy kind of comes in. It would be Heritage EDT. Oops, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
If you'll notice, we have a really great cap for this guy. It's a piece of cardboard. And that's because my dad got this for me for Christmas. And unfortunately, Dad got a tester here. Which, I mean, it works great. This guy still keeps the shit out of my atomizer. So, I mean, that's fine and dandy. It keeps it from getting all crusty and gross in there. So if I don't use it for a while. Because we've got a particularly large and growing larger collection here.
That's true.
It'll make it still smell good when we spray it.
True. So the bottle itself.
Wait a minute. So here's the deal. If you've got a Guerlain Heritage cap for the EDT version, or you know any of the bottles that are like this in the Guerlain, feel free to message me, dude. We can work something out. Just need a cap, goddammit. I hate this shit. It bugs me to no end to not have the cap. But anyways, continuing on.
So the bottle, sans le cap, I would say is pretty wonderful. I would give it a solid 7 all around. Nothing spectacular, but yet pretty elegant and classy. It kind of reminds me of like an old-fashioned wardrobe in a weird way, like one of like something that you would in the animated version of Beauty and the Beast, just the way it's shaped and such. It kind of reminds me of like
an armoire or something.
Yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for. The juice, if you can tell, is kind of like a browny yellow color. I wish the font was a little bit different on the bottom of the bottle. I know they're trying to minimize, you know, the name and the font, but I think it would be a little bit spicier if they did something funky with it. But I mean, all in all, I'd say it's a solid 7. You?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like these bottles. It's kind of Guerlain's like catch-all bottle where they just started slapping all of their masculine perfumes into these bottles, and I've even, I believe I have heard that even L'Instant de Guerlain is going into a bottle like this, which is just like, okay. I mean, I get it. The legacy of Guerlain! But I just don't give a fuck. I don't like it. It's like I've talked about before how I don't really like companies that they're like, here's our one bottle design and we're just gonna put all of our fragrances in that bottle. Like
But MFK does that.
No, because MFK has at least variation in like the caps that they use for what collections, and they can change other minor things about the bottle, which I'm fine with. It's the same with By Killian, who also puts the different embossings on the side, or like Stefan Humbert Lucas, who just changes the colors of the bottles. But you can
with Amouage, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I like that. That's fine and dandy. But when you're honestly just using the same bottle for everything, and then you're just slapping a different name on it, and like, again, I get it. I just don't like it.
Touché.
So probably like a 5. I mean, otherwise, I think the bottle's somewhat elegant. I like the L'Instant de Guerlain bottle better, and that's why it's also disappointing to hear that they're probably just shuffling that on into these bottles too. But I mean, shit. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Let's spray it.
Yeah, so here goes, guys.
Here's goes, guys.
Always a pretty great sprayer with Guerlain.
Whoa!
It's pretty goddamn good. So, like, everything about the top of this fragrance is really just inviting you to smell a classic men's fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
It's sandalwood, it's your patchouli, it's your amber, lavender, oak moss, juniper berries, pretty much everything you need to just, like I said, make a very classic man's man smell. Which I think works awesome. But then underneath all of this is Guerlain's classic, creamy, beautiful dry down that, like, it seems like no matter what they do with their men's fragrances, they've basically got two sets to a men's fragrance. They've got the top part, which is an explosive kind of like nose-grabbing concoction of notes. That's like with this one, it's the sandalwood. And it's the patchouli and the lavender that kind of play together to create this loud, bombastic, catching set of notes to tell you what territory you're going in with this one. And like, for instance, with Habit Rouge, it's it's the vanilla, it's the lemon, and so I mean that's always what they do with these tops is they have a very specific category that just really sharply pulls you in different directions. And then they all have very specific creamy bases that seem to go with the particular fragrance that you're smelling here. You've got your cedar, you've got your rose. So you've also got your coriander and your geranium and your musk and your citruses and white florals.
All sorts of nummy goodness in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing always with me and Guerlain's men's offerings is there's these really sharp, two strong areas that it goes from the one to the other. And you can still smell remnants of both. It's just kind of which one's playing louder and which one's kind of retreated, and they kind of shift like that.
You said this, and I think this does a really good job. It is like I'm not the right term I'm thinking of, but it lures you in to want to smell more. There's something about it that is very inviting that you're like, oh yes, let me like dive deeper into this fragrance. For sure. I think this is super fresh smelling. It's spring, summer out already, and it's April. And I feel like this is, even though on Fragrantica most people say it's a winter, fall, I think you could still wear this in the spring, summer too.
Yeah, I mean, for sure spring. I think, like I said, I think this one's kind of a classic men's scent, and so what that does for me is it just kind of makes it a universal scent.
Yeah, regardless, no matter the occasion, no matter the season. There's
no right or wrong time to wear it. It's just like, boom. That's one of the things that I think Guerlain is really good at doing, is kind of creating a platform for you to wear all these different types of fragrances pretty much all the time. Yeah. And have that as your baseline to build off of with the rest of your fragrance collection. And if you do that, I mean, having Guerlain as your reference point, and you're not going to drop below that.
You're doing pretty good.
Yeah, holy Christ.
You're doing pretty good. So overall, I think this fragrance for me would be upper sevens. I think like 7, 8.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8. I think there's also another really weird thing that Guerlain's offerings have done for me, which is that like smelling them from here is kind of the optimal area to smell a Guerlain fragrance. For a lot of other fragrances, for me, I really do like to get right up in them and smell kind of from
its business.
Yeah, and smell it from the depths and feel it like evolve. I mean, I like to be able to smell it from here too, but I like to be able to challenge my nose at different areas to smell the different areas of the fragrance. But I think with the Guerlains that I own anyways, and the ones that I've smelled, often going like that is just creating a very sharp, kind of like violent strike to your nose, and you can't quite grasp anything that's really going on. You kind of just smell that initial note, maybe note or two. Here it's that dirty patchouli and that sandalwood.
Nummy patchouli.
And it's just tough. It's really tough. So I think here's the way to smell the Guerlain, and I think an 8. Yeah, I think it's a fucking incredibly great classic menswear. Like I think if men all the way around would replace like Old Spice with just a bottle of like Guerlain, we'd be set. Society would be doing really good, dude. If the classic reference point for men was just some type of Guerlain, that'd be good.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
So who do you think would wear this Guerlain?
So I think Ron Kirby from All That Heaven Allows, played by Rock Hudson, would be smelling like this.
The original Rock.
The original Rock. The Rock Hudson. I think he would smell like this. I think Rock Hudson, period, would smell like this. I think he's one of those gentlemen that Guerlain would have been his reference point.
Yeah.
So I would just imagine that he'd smell like this kind of 24/7. That's like this bottle. That's what you're really buying into, is that kind of classic Technicolor gentleman smell.
For my pick, I would do Daniel Ocean from Ocean's 12. I feel that in Ocean's 11, he's too brash and cocky. Still trying to win back Tess to wear something like this, but in the second one he's a little more mellow and trying to be more gentlemanly and play the gentleman's game of heist, cat and mouse, and he'd be wearing something like this.
Cat and moose.
Coot and moose. Yeah.
Moose and squale.
Overall, I think we both enjoy the fragrance, enjoy the house. For people who are watching, if you get a chance to get your hands on a Guerlain sample or something like in a Swapsies, I think we both recommend at least giving it a shot.
Yeah.
I know Guerlain kind of has this negative stereotype of being old man, old woman-like.
Yeah, and I think that's somewhat
accurate,
but I would also say, like,
who cares?
Yeah, fuck off, dude. Smell it, dude.
Who cares?
It's like, here's the thing. Like
all art.
Like all art. There's tons of movies that I love. Probably tons of people would say, like, it's fucking old shit, dude. Why aren't you watching movies for your age group? How come you're not watching the cool Spring Breakers, dude? What a great movie, dude. It talks all about, fucking shallowness and pop culture and just American fucking,
Nazis.
Ignorance and shit. It's great. It's a wonderful film. But the thing is, I don't like shitty movies. So I watch movies regardless of what age I guess they're intended to be watched by. So that way I don't get stuck seeing something like Spring Breakers and just feeling awful for a good period of time because it's such a shitty movie. Just smell fragrances that smell good. If you're really in the thing is, I think most of our viewers are not watching our reviews going, yeah, these fragrances. These guys are talking about the good ones that's gonna get me laid.
Oh, we're not going with fancy though.
No. That's why, so if you're here, you're wanting to just smell good things. Guerlain does good things most of the time.
Yeah.
I would just try them out. If you don't like older style of smells, like oak moss bothers you or juniper berries, then yeah, maybe ditch this one. But if you're simply trying to avoid the fragrance because it's got the connotations of being an older men's fragrance,
fuck it. Try it.
Yeah, seriously.
You only live once.
Yeah. Stop doing that to yourself, dude.
Yeah, dude. Or dudette. Or dudette, dude. That's all we gotta say about that.